So, I just found what might be the most underrated AI side hustle out there right now. Seriously, when I discovered this, it blew my mind because as I'll show you, people are making money within their first week of starting it. Yep, so here's how it works. People are using AI to create a simple type of book called a 100,000 Whys book, which is basically a fun book filled with all kinds of random questions and answers, and then they sell it on Amazon for free using the KDP self-publishing service. And then they get paid royalties each time one of these sells. And one of these books can earn anywhere from hundreds to tens of thousands of dollars per month in royalties. Let me show you what I mean. I found this book on Amazon that was published barely 2 weeks ago as of me filming this video. Yet it already has over 200 reviews, and it's sitting as a #1 bestseller. So if we scroll down and copy its bestsellers rank, and then pop that into a book sales estimator tool, it estimates this book is selling somewhere around 97 to 139 copies a day. And if we run it through Amazon's profit calculator, after Amazon's fees, it works out to about $11 a sale. So even on the low end at 97 copies a day, that's just over $1,000 a day. And again, that's from a book that's only 2 weeks old, made by a no-name author. And this is just one of dozens of generic authors I found selling these 100,000 Whys books successfully on Amazon. And the part that really got me is just how new nearly all of them are. A lot of them are only 1 or 2 months old, some of them just weeks old, and yet they are already getting sales. Now the best part about this opportunity is, one, because these are KDP books, you don't have to print the books yourself and ship them. You just upload the book file and cover, Amazon prints and ships it whenever someone buys, and you get to keep 60% of the sale as your profit. And number two is that the competition is relatively low. It's actually still really low, surprisingly. Most people out there have no idea this opportunity even exists yet, while a small handful of people are taking full advantage of it. Like this person right here, who's published a whole stack of these books all in the same format. Most likely AI generated, and every one of them is already getting sales. So I got curious, and I wanted to see if I could create one of these trending 100,000 Whys books myself using AI and publish it on Amazon. And well, not only did I manage to do it, but the whole process turned out to be surprisingly easy, especially because, as I'll show you, you can do the entire thing using just 2 AI tools. So, the first thing I did was figure out exactly what kind of 100,000 Whys book I was actually going to make, because getting this part right is pretty much what makes or breaks the whole thing. So let's start there, with picking your niche. But here's the thing though, we don't want to just make a generic book called 100,000 Whys. That's way too broad. And as I was scrolling, I noticed many of these are aimed at children, so the kids angle is clearly good. But a book aimed at children in general, like this one here, seems already pretty crowded, so we need to go a bit more specific. And if you look closely, the sellers doing well have done exactly that. This one's for ages 6 to 12, this one's for 7 to 13, this one's for teenagers. That's the move. We need to find a specific niche, and here's how we do it. First rule is, you don't do anything by guessing. So instead of pulling an idea out of thin air like, oh, I'll make one for ages 9 to 15. We're going to let Amazon itself tell us what people are already searching for. So the simplest way to do this is go to the search bar, type in your seed keyword, which in this case 100,000 Whys, and just stop there and see what Amazon suggests. Because these suggestions are literally what real buyers are typing in right now. So there's clear demand here. The only problem is you don't get that many suggestions. So that's where I use this free Chrome extension called AMZ Suggestion Expander. You install it to your browser and check this out. Now we've got a big old list of exactly what people are searching for under the 100,000 Whys niche. So now, instead of inventing book ideas out of nothing, we've already got a list of proven demand we can build from. Okay, so that's the first half done. Now we've got a list of specific sub-niches to choose from people are actively searching for. Next, I want to check the competition on them. So for this video, I'm going with 100,000 Whys book for adults. And when I search it, you can see it comes up with a 91 niche score. This is, by the way, another free Chrome extension called Self-Publishing Titans, and anything above 60 usually means strong demand with relatively low competition. And on top of that, we can see there aren't many books in this sub-niche at all, and the ones that are there were all published super recently, a month ago, 2 months, some only 2 weeks, and they're already pulling sales. Then, when I looked inside a few of the previews, compared to the kids' books, these felt a little too basic and too boring, and sure enough, some reviews also back it up, with multiple people complaining the questions are too simple for an adult. I think we can definitely do something better here. So now that we've got our winning niche, let's move on to the next step, where we use AI to create a product that's better than anything already out there. So the first thing I did was create a new project inside Claude. Then I went and opened up a handful of the best-selling books, not just from my adults niche, but the top ones pretty much across the whole niche. And I took screenshots of everything, like the covers, the titles, the descriptions, and most importantly, the public previews, such as the table of contents, the actual interior pages, all of that shit. And I dumped every single one of those into the project files. So now, Claude isn't guessing. It's not pulling ideas out of its ass. It's literally looking at what's already winning on Amazon. So when I ask it for something better, it knows exactly what better has to beat. So the first thing I did was said something like, I'm making books in this 100,000 Whys niche that's blowing up on Amazon right now. I want to do one for adults. I've attached the interiors of a few in this style. Help me brainstorm some angles. What should we do differently? What should it contain? And as you can see, it actually goes through the files I gave it, and then it hits me with this. And look at what it says. Since the adults market is getting crowded with the general angle, differentiation is your biggest lever. And then it lays out angle after angle I could take. Instead of targeting all adults, go specific. 100K Whys for curious dads, a women's edition, one for the over 50s. And honestly, I can already sense every one of these has real potential. Nobody's doing them, and with this workflow, each one only takes a little while to make. So you could just quickly knock out all of these angles and publish them before anyone else even notices the niche. But the one that stopped me was this one right here. General adults, but with a stronger voice and format. The general adult space has entrance, but most are dry and essay heavy. A book with snappier Q&A, visual diagrams like the kids' books, but adult themed, and a fun tone could stand out. And this is the one that spoke to me. Because remember what I noticed earlier myself? I felt these adult books like too basic, too boring. Claude just landed on the exact same gap on its own from the screenshots I fed it, and then it tells me precisely how to attack it as well. The kids' books use tons of diagrams and illustrations, but the adult books are almost all text. An adult Q&A book with clean diagrams but for grown-up questions is basically untapped. So then I opened a new chat in the same project and I told it, okay, here's the book. Generally for adults, but I want frequent illustrations, some interactive bits where the reader finishes a section, and I want it to actually be nice to look at, not the dry wall of text thing everyone else is doing. And then I said, before we write a single word, let's structure this and build the table of contents. Plan how the whole thing flows. And look what it gave me. Not just a list of chapters, it gave each part its own color identity. Then, with the structure locked in, I also gave a suggestion of my own, asking, what if we add a little quiz at the end of each part to test what they learn? Or a crossword built from the chapter's words, and it took my rough idea and tightened it into something cleaner. So now we've got a table of contents, a real structure, and the interactive bits, and all that is left right now to actually write the book. But here's the most important rule in this whole step. Do not tell it to pump out the entire book in one go. It's a big book, lots of text, and every fact has to be correct. So when you ask for everything at once, the first couple chapters would look great, then it just drifts into errors, repetition, and lazy writing. So instead, I have it write the book chapter by chapter. And girl, look at this. The quizzes are in there, the crosswords at the end of each part are in there, and the illustrations. They're accurate, they're clean, and overall, this is just incredible, honestly. So at this point, the heavy lifting is done. We've got a winning niche, a winning angle, and a book that genuinely outclasses the competition. All that's left is the cover. So this part is actually really easy. For this, we'll be using Canva. So search for a book cover, click blank page, and then click on this Canva AI button right here. Now, after some testing and a few misses, I landed on a prompt that gets Canva AI to generate covers that look exactly like these ones. Same format as all the bestsellers in the niche. So I'll put that prompt in the description and a pinned comment so you can grab it for yourself. Just know it's written for the book I'm doing here, so you'll need to tweak it to match your book's details and the look you want. But yes, as you can see, once I entered the prompt, Canva generated this cover for me. And just look at it. It looks exactly like the top-selling books in this niche. We've got the title, for adults, and my name down here. But here's the thing, girl. So far, we've only made the front of the cover. To create the full cover, first head over to the Amazon Print Cover Calculator. Enter your book's details, hit calculate, and it gives you the exact dimensions for your full cover rack. So download that template. Then come back to Canva and create a custom design at the size Amazon just gave you. Drop the downloaded template into it. Then drop your generated front cover in and line it up inside the front panel. For the back and the bleed area, you can just fill it with a simple color that matches the front. And our full cover is done, which means the book itself is basically finished. The next and final step is publishing it to Amazon KDP. This is the part I got wrong the most early on. So let me quickly run through what I've figured out since so you don't make the same mistakes. Now the first important part is your title and subtitle. For the title, I'm keeping it close to the main keyword we found earlier, because that's what people are already searching for. So instead of trying to be clever or creative, I'm just going with something clear, like 100,000 Wise Book for Adults. That way Amazon instantly understands what the book is, and so does the buyer. Then for the subtitle, I don't want to put whatever comes to my mind or just copy-paste another adult 100,000 Wise book, because that would make mine look like a knockoff. So what I like to do instead is look at a subtitle structure that's already working in the broader 100,000 Wise category, and then adapt it to my own book. So for example, I can take this subtitle from a successful kids version, give it to Claude, and ask it to rewrite it for mine. And this is the one I ended up liking the most. Then we move on to the description. As we did with our subtitle, copy the description from a book that's already popular and a bestseller on Amazon, and then paste it into Claude and ask it to come up with a few versions for your own book. And then just pick the one you like the most and make any little changes to it that you want. After that, we've got the back-end keywords. And this is another place people mess up, because they either leave these empty, repeat the same words from their title, or just put random single words in there. What to do instead is use related search phrases that match what this buyer is really looking for. Because someone searching for this kind of book probably isn't only looking for exactly 100,000 why questions. What they really want underneath is to maybe learn a load of random interesting things, or they want a good trivia and general knowledge book, or they want fun facts they can bring up in conversation, something like that. So I asked Claude to help me figure out the buyer intent and find keyword phrases based on that, and it gave me the exact buyer intent for my book. On top of that, it gave me a bunch of high-volume search phrases built around each of those intents, like interesting facts for adults, random facts book for adults, educational gifts for adults, and quite a few more. And it actually researched the search volume behind each of them too. So these aren't just keywords it pulled out of nowhere. So you can go ahead and put 7 of the best ones it gives you into those boxes. Then Amazon is going to ask if you used AI to help create the book. And you can just be honest here. Amazon isn't banning AI books just because they're AI. They just want you to disclose it. That's it. And because you guys stayed until the end, here's a little bonus tip. When you first publish, you can start with a slightly lower price than what you eventually want to sell the book for. A lot of top sellers do this because it can help get those first few sales moving. And once Amazon starts seeing sales velocity, your book has a better chance of getting pushed higher in search and recommended under similar books. Just don't price it so low that it makes the book look cheap.